Now today my guest is joining me via Zoom, and it said that whenever you see a successful woman, look out for three men who are going out of their way to block her. Now our guest today has proven that with the right motivation and attitude, the future can indeed be exciting, even in the most male-dominated fields of endeavor. Appointed the first Black woman CTO of Vodafone at the age of 33, she has since grown in leaps and bounds and was adjudged the best telecoms CEO last year. Madam Patricias, CEO of Vodafone Ghana, takes her turn on Leaderboard Series today. Ladies and gentlemen, join me as we welcome her all the way, in her office. She's actually talking to us via Zoom today. I'm super excited about this. Let's get it going. All right. Hello?
Hi, Rev. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, madam. How you doing?
I'm well, and you?
I'm awesome. I'm super excited about this interview, I must say. Good to have you on here.
Thank you.
I want to find out, are you talking to us in the office?
I'm actually at home. I'm working from home. My company is working from home, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Good to have you on here. It's going to be an interesting ride. Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to join the conversation, hashtag is Leaderboard Series. Make sure, all right, you send in all your questions. If you have any questions for Madame Patricia, she's right here with us. She's spending time with us this morning to share a story and then, motivates all of us. Now, we're going to start off with your upbringing, your early life. I was told somewhere along the line that you grew up a twin. That's true?
That's true. Yes, that's true. I have a twin. Everybody says we are identical, so we will believe that we look alike.
You are the penguin or the kakra?
I'm the kakra.
You are the kakra. Wow.
Yeah.
Now, let me share this interesting story with you as well. I was also born a twin.
Okay, nice.
Yes, but I'm the penguin.
Okay.
I'm the penguin. Unfortunately, I lost my twin brother some years ago, but
sorry.
I still remember growing up a twin. I want to find out from you, how was it like growing up with someone who basically was another version of you?
I think it's my mother who enjoyed that upbringing the most because she used to buy the clothes the same and everything like that. But I guess for us as individual, it's the best experience you can have. She's like your best pal, your chatmate. She won't judge you. She takes care of your kids for you. And I think the best part is that you can wear her clothes, so you can share the wardrobe. So yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Yeah.
Do you have any memories of, you guys confusing people? A situation where you had to do something and then she had to do it for you?
Well, I wouldn't say we set out to do that. People have been confused within the period because sometimes I'd go to her workplace and people like, I thought I saw you just a few minutes ago in something else, or you meet somebody and the person will be cracking all the jokes, say, yay, Penny, yay, Pat. I'm like, I am not bad. I'm not patient, Patricia, Yeah, it's happened quite a number of times. We don't set out to do it. People just get confused because we look alike.
How long did it take your kids to see the difference?
I think I think they get to probably age 4, 5, and then they're like, yeah, that's not mommy. But at the early stages, they always run to her. Her kids run to me like, mommy.
Now, it's believed that twins are endowed with the power of intuition. Do you believe so too? And has it in any way played a role to your advantage along the line?
Really? I don't believe it. I kind of feel it's the thing about women. I think there's something in the intuition of a woman. We say that is the most powerful thing on earth. So it must be because we are women more than twins. I haven't seen that. I think women have guts. Women are able to make decisions based on their instincts, and it's a very strong thing that comes with being a woman more than a twin, I think.
Okay, and I also heard that
You've heard a lot of things.
Yeah, so my ears, they're always out. I heard that if you take a set of twins, one is usually the introvert and the other an extrovert. Which of them is you?
Let me just say I'm the introvert, well-behaved, quiet.
Wow, you're picking the safe spots.
She would disagree, I know.
Anyways, let's go back to your days at Bishop Bower School, to St. Rose's, Presec, and then to KNUST. How did each of these educational institutions shape your life and what you aspire to be growing up? Two questions.
You know, Bishop Powers and St. Joseph's were led by the Roman Catholic sisters at that time. Very strong Catholic upbringing, strong values, no nonsense, you know. And St. Joseph's was a girls' school. So that really kept us in the values tight, you know, very strong upbringing. And then I go to Presec, and Presec is quite open. It's a mixed school, and that's our first encounter with certain class with guys and also being a day student. So Presec really taught me how to coexist with the guys, even before I went to Tech. Being KNUST meant I didn't have my parents to control me, but then I had to put all the values I picked from Bishop Howard St. Joseph's Presec to bear, you know, and act responsible in school. I think Tech also brought out my leadership strength because I took up a leadership role whilst I was on campus as the president of the Electrical Engineering Students Association.
Nice.
And then I started my internship on campus, and so I think my career direction also started from KNUST.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about who you aspire to be growing up. I mean, what shape did you wish to pick or grow into while you were young? Did you want to see yourself a famous person? Did you want to grow comfortable? I mean, give us a fair idea what you aspired to become growing up.
We were raised to be very content. So we're raised by my mother. My father passed on when from 3, and so we're primarily raised by my mother. And we didn't have a lot, but we're happy. And I think for me that was the bare minimum, to always have a life that was comfortable and be happy. And family was the most important. In terms of career, in my mind, I did not ever set out and understand what I wanted to be. I just wanted to do well. And so wherever my path will find me, I knew I would not settle, for sure. That I was sure from the beginning. I knew I wouldn't settle. I would push to how far my barriers could take me.
Your favorite subjects in school were physics, chemistry, and maths. 3 subjects I would run from. What measure of support did you get from your family to sustain this interest?
I've been blessed. So if you look at my mother she studied biochem throughout school up to university, and then she ended up at the Bank of Ghana, and she worked in Bank of Ghana her entire life until she retired. We've never had that restriction of you need to be a doctor, you need to go to do this. All she wanted us to do was to do well. So she'll get you the vacation classes, she'll ask you to get you the teacher that wanted for us was to do well. She never was very petty about what courses we're pursuing at all. We had the freedom to choose.
You could have found yourself in any other scientific field of endeavor. If I may ask, why did you decide to do electrical engineering?
It's such a funny story, you know. I actually set out to do civil, and I look at my courses. Okay, so the reason why I like the math and the sciences is not because I'm like wild. I just don't like the long write-ups, the long stories, you know. So you answer the question, you underline your answer, the math is done, right? 2 + 2 is 4, it's finished. So, and my father had been in like civil engineering, road construction type of thing. So for me, it was like natural course, just follow his path. And then I met a friend, and a friend said, why do you want to go and do civil? Civil involves a lot of reading. You have to learn about the soil, biology. I'm like, no, like this is not for me. This is why I ran away from biology. So I went to my mother's room, picked my university forms, put a line in civil, and I chose electrical because then it spoke to just the courses I loved, which was just physics, chemistry, math, statistics then, you know. And that's how I ended up doing electrical. It was just for my comfort, just for the passion and what I loved. That's it.
Okay, passion is in there. So, I mean, with passion mentioned, even if anything was difficult in there, it wouldn't have really been difficult because
you love it. It's so important. It's so important. Don't do things that you don't enjoy doing. Yeah, unless you're compelled to do.
Let me find out from you. I mean, back then, this was when? While you were doing electrical engineering?
1995 to 1999.
Wow. Obviously, technology wasn't what it is today.
No, we're using the phone booth.
The phone booth.
Yeah, we're using phone booths in school, you know.
You'd have to
We
go
didn't
and
have the
buy
mobile phone.
card.
Yes, or queue at the call center. There was a call center there. Then they'll send you a note that you're expecting a call at 4 o'clock, and then you go and queue, and then you receive your call.
Was it what we called communication center?
Yeah, exactly. You know the word.
I mean, looking at back then and now, what do you
Yeah.
think has changed in studies? I mean, if someone decides to go to school today to go study electrical engineering, and you compare the experience to back then when you guys had it, what has really changed?
Oh, I went to campus and I'm like, you guys actually have a proper lecture hall. And I'm sure you have more tools than we ever were exposed to. You have a lot more companies to do your internships. There's a lot of digital tools now. So even with COVID, people are home studying. I mean, we didn't have any of that luxury. It was the hard textbook and nothing else, you know. And yet we sailed through. Yeah.
How did you combine being the head or the president of the electrical engineering students back in KNUST and then still excelling? I mean, studying to pass your subjects.
Oh, it was fun, actually. It wasn't so intrusive. It was mobilizing people, getting projects done on campus. We were part of the team that did the electrical alarm system at the tech hospital. So it was more project oriented and mobilizing people. It didn't get into the space of my studies at all. If anything, it built me up.
Built you
even
up.
better. Yeah.
I need 100% honesty on this next question. What did you do for fun back in uni? I went to school and my fun thing was going out to chill with my friends. Back then, what was the party bit for you? I mean, the fun bit for you?
Nothing. So boring. Just friends, walk to the lecture hall, come back to the Queen's Hall. Yeah, nothing. Like just stay in the room with your friends, stay on the balcony and chat. Yeah, that's it.
Just that?
Boring. I know, boring. Yeah.
I mean, so you didn't go out to parties, none of that stuff?
Never went to a club. Never.
Why?
I don't know. It wasn't my kind of fun.
So what was your kind of fun?
Just okay. I used to play volleyball, maybe.
Good.
I was part of the university students, the volleyball team. So I used to play a lot of volleyball.
Okay, so they remember this thing you're saying?
Who? Oh, yes, you can check. Yes.
Wow. One last question on, studying and you growing up. Did you have a nickname apart from Pinyin? Apart from Kakra?
It was in Presec that they called us 21, 22, whether it was nickname or just to help them tell the difference. But yeah, that was it. 21, 22, yeah.
And you were 22?
Yeah, I was 22, yeah.
I feel, till the end of the interview, I might be calling you 22. Anyways, let's move on to family. Let's talk a little bit about family. Boys are naturally attached to their moms. You're raising 3 strong boys. How do you manage your busy schedule along with taking care of them?
I learned very early. When I took up the CT role, my firstborn was 3 years old. So there was no option for me but to accept external support. And I must say, I have been blessed with support from my sisters, from my in-laws, but my mother-in-law and my sisters-in-law. I mean, they love me to a fault. And then my husband. I mean, so people have been very closed. They don't accept support, and so they struggle. And I think you can't just combine it. You can't pretend you can do it all, So accepting help. I mean, I used to live in Tema and I drove all the way to Tigo every single day. I brought my kids to Accra. After school, my mother-in-law would keep them till I close from work. And then I pick them and take them. We should give them a bath, feed them, everything, And if I didn't open up to accept that support, then I was going to struggle. So external support really, really helped.
Along the line, did your family come in the way of your work? Did you feel at a point that, okay, maybe I'm supposed to maybe send my kids, my children away so I can focus on my work? Did it ever come in your way?
No, not at all. I mean, I rather, like I said, probably took too much advantage of the support I had. So I wouldn't have to let it get to a stressful point. There were open arms to help me. So why not? Sometimes they'll spend the weekend with my mother-in-law, but that's fine because mommy, or she comes over to my house, especially when I have to travel. And people will say your mother-in-law is away, she can come close, that kind of thing. But my home has been very open to her for so many years. And when I travel, she's here to make sure the kids are fine. So, yeah.
Definitely, it sounds like you've been able to manage this whole family and business balance thing. I speak to a lot of people, and then many a times it sounds as if it did go over them at a point. With your experience, how do you think or advise young professional mothers to manage family life and their aspirations? I mean, just so one doesn't go down the drain, just so one can stand strong.
I think that people do not want to open up to the reality. So just this weekend, we were counseling a to-be couple, and we're telling them, my husband and I, that you need to understand the girl wants to go to school after marriage. And we're like, the kids are going to come. So is it school first or the kids first? I think it's preparing your mind for what's ahead of you and accepting the challenge that could come with it. You can't walk into it and then be confused about it. There are many women who have come before you, right? And they have gone through this. So listen to their story. Mine is, I worked with support. So you can balance it out, understand the area in which you are operating, and accept the support that comes to you, Don't be surprised. I think that will help a lot.
That's actually true. I was expecting to get this answer because people don't really go real with their lives. I mean, everybody wants to be a career woman, but then they forget that after you go out chasing the career, you come back home and then family
and your husband is waiting for you. Yeah. So you have to understand the reality. I've been cooking for 16 years. I cook food for my family. You have to accept that it comes with the terrain, but accept the support that is offered to you as well.
What's your favorite meal to cook?
I love cooking. Everything like jollof, contemporary stew. Oh yeah, no, not the fake one. Yeah, no, everything. Contemporary stew, garden egg stew, everything.
What, in your opinion, is quality time with your children? How do you spend quality time with your children?
I was telling you that I start my leadership role started when my kids were 3. So they grew up knowing mommy's busy, mommy travels, mommy works late. So when I'm present, I'm in the house, then that's quality time. Well, like, it's so funny if you see us lying down on the carpet, somebody chooses the movie, he who chooses first, we all watch. And then there's the drink. I've been banned from soda now, so I have to do juice, they do soda, and then we binge on the series, like, it's just being present, I promise you. Or just going out to my sister's house, spend the whole day, fool around and come back. Absolutely do nothing. It's not intense. It's just being present. That's it.
Have you sent them to work before?
Yes, I have. When I had one, my second son, and I was in the midst of a negotiation, and we had to close a deal when I was in Tigray. So my baby was in the car. And I'd go into the meeting, and then when my breast was full, I'll come into the car and breastfeed because you feel it that your baby is crying. So you come to the car, breastfeed, I go back, and continue with the meeting. I've done that quite often.
Good, good job. Now, some believe yeah.
You say good job.
Yeah, good job. I mean, not all people can do what you did.
It's tough.
Some believe a lot is being done for the girl child. I mean, leaving the boys behind. Being a mother of 3 boys, do you feel the need for balance, or maybe there's no cause for alarm? I mean,
Rev, I don't think we've even done enough. I don't think we've even scratched the surface on what has to be done for the girls, And the funny thing is that we keep pushing this myth that the girls lack confidence, they don't have ambition, they'll carry too much workload. At middle level, she can't grow to a C-suite role, senior women are not available. It is wrong. The issue is with our system. Women are capable, women are available. You talk to a very young girl from school, she wants to pursue the sciences, she wants to go to school. The system will not allow her to go. She's seen as an economic burden for the family. If somebody has to be married out first, it has to be that girl. I was shocked at the global statistic that 33,000 women, young girls below 18, get married off every single day. So 12 million girls below 18 get married off every single year. That's a joke. So the system, the norms, the cultures is what isn't allowing our young girls to have the opportunity. You know, and we are 50% of the population. So I don't believe we've done enough at all for girls, and we should do more.
Wow. I believe before the interview ends, we're going to address that issue again.
Okay.
Before we get to that, let's speak a little bit about career or your career.
Yeah.
You were offered your first career opportunity at Millicom Ghana after national service. What level of commitment went into your work during your service, which you can share with the youth who are on the verge of launching their careers? I mean, for the starters.
You know, guys, I think that this is important. It requires a lot of sacrifice. So I started my internship in first year. Even before I went to Tigo, I actually did my internship with a radio mechanic by the roadside to build experience. I was repairing radios and amplifiers. And then, and then my second year I went to Tigo. And it's all because I needed to get some practical experience and put the theory into perspective, you know. And it comes with a lot of stuff. It means you're not doing those vacation travels that people do. It means you're working late in the evening. Sometimes you get paid over some vacations. Sometimes you don't get paid. And you say you have a degree, you're acquiring a degree. You have the humility to learn. You know, this is it's at that point that you build depth before you even move. So I really got a lot of learning from internship into national service, you know, and then by the time I finished national service, my offer letter was on my desk. I did not apply for my first job, you know. So being humble enough to and making the sacrifice. Young men of today, young women of today don't want the stress, you know. And I think it's important that you do it for yourself. Build the experience for yourself.
You've employed so many people in the course of your career. I mean, you've met a lot of aspiring, leaders. You've met people who want to work. You've met people who just want to earn a living. What do you think is the main issue with our generation when it comes to approaching their career? I mean, through interviews, when they get the jobs, the attitude at work. What do you see wrong?
We're in a hurry. We don't want to build that. I promise you, I meet a lot of people in the boardroom or in different presentations, and they know what is on the paper. You take the paper off the person, you ask the person the second, third question, and he or she is fumbling because he hasn't built depth. He hasn't bothered to understand the industry he's been placed in. It doesn't matter the industry. It doesn't matter that you came fresh from school. Take time to understand the business in which you're operating. You haven't even visited their website, you know? And so we're all in a hurry to get the leadership role. We feel we have a degree. We need to get the job first. We need to move to management level. It takes depth. You need to understand business to get there. And that's my real advice. I meet it a lot, and it's sad. And that's why young people get frustrated too quickly. And then they resign and then they change job. You look at somebody's CV and almost every 8 months he's changing jobs. You ask him why? Because he didn't get a managerial role. How many months have you spent on the job? My boss told me 10% of your age is your tenure on a job. So make sure you spend that number of years on a particular role and build understanding on that job. So if you're 30 years old, at least do 3 years on a role. That's minimum. It will help you to grow, and then you move on, you know.
Is it not because of the pressure we're getting from our society? I mean, if you're a lady, for instance, or let's say a guy, let me come back to a guy situation because I'm a guy. You're growing up after school, your family is giving you pressure. Oh, this person over there who probably inherited money from the family has made this for themselves. What are you doing? You're supposed to marry at age 28. You're supposed to do this. You're not really bringing in enough cash. And so if I'm in such a situation, I'm influenced to do more within the shortest period I find myself in. Won't I be moved to go in a hurry whenever I get the opportunity?
And that is why by the time you get to the top, you don't stay that long on that job, which you thought was the best of the top. I met a lot of young people. One guy told me he was resigning, and I told him, I don't think you'll survive on that next role. I wasn't cursing him. I was just being real, you know, and it's because he didn't know anything. I think that That's why if you had the opportunity to use the time of internship to build your skill, then you may be able to move faster in on the career ladder, because you've used school period, to build some experience. But even if you've missed that opportunity, in your first 4 or 5 years after school, I think it's experience building. You may be fortunate to get a good company that will pay you so well that you can take care of your family. But for me, I think the most important in the first 5 years is to build depth, build experience, make some sacrifices.
That's amazing. Now, I'm sure a lot of people are ready to hear this particular one. At age 33, you were the youngest CTO in the telco industry, a role you never applied for.
No.
What did you do then to convince your superiors to repose such confidence in you? And how can young people navigate their way through such highly competitive environments?
Rev, you see this face smiling nicely. I have suffered.
You've been through it, eh?
I'm telling you, my mother was like, this bag is always packed. I said, because yes, I always have to travel. On Friday, I come home and I tell her, we're going to the north, we're going here. It's aside the grace of God, right? You have to learn to make sacrifices on the job. You will go and meet people who don't have the academic qualification you have, but they have the experience and they are the people to train you. If you don't have the humility to learn from them, you will not pick the details, the intricacies of the job. If you go into an interview for a role, for a CTO role or anything like that, or your bosses have been studying what you have been doing, they will not find any reason to put that confidence in you. A girl, black girl, young, first time doing this job. You need something more than your face. You need to show them that you've been consistent. I worked in that company for so many years. If you add my internship, before I took the job, it was close to 10 years before I got that job, So you have built consistency, you have built confidence, you have built trust that it's okay to give her the opportunity. She can do it because of your track record. You need to build it. It's important. But you have to qualify every day. You have to put in time and effort every day. I used to go to work by 7 o'clock. Sometimes I'm the last to leave because what has to be done, my boss will come early for the report. Nobody is willing to do it. Make a sacrifice and do it. It will pay off. It will pay off. Yeah.
That's great. What were some of the notable day-to-day challenges you had to deal with as the young female CTO you were in such a male-dominated field?
To be honest, at that time, I'm sure it was like so iconic, black girl, young girl. The real challenge was the fact that I was managing my peers, people who had been my colleagues over a period, and then the seniors who had trained me, the people I used to call Uncle Tom and Uncle Steve when I was doing my national service. They're now working under me, and how to balance respect and being assertive, was a steep learning that I had to go through. But I think that we had built relationship from the beginning, and they were kind of very willing to support my journey, and so they knew I'd give them respect. They knew I'd give them the respect.
Talking about your day-to-day challenge being the youngest CTO in the telco industry back then.
Yes, I was saying that actually the role was quite iconic, so I didn't have the pressure of you are young. I think the challenge that came to me was how to manage my peers, because these were people who we used to be colleagues reporting to the same boss, and suddenly I became their boss. And also people who had been the seniors, I used to call them uncles, and then now I have to take care of them. So being respectful, being humble, and still being assertive was quite a steep learning curve that I had to go through, but I managed. I managed to sail through that.
That's amazing. You've stressed the need for companies to take risk with young women in the professional field. What level of sacrifices must young women make to prepare and position themselves to take up influential roles at their workplaces?
I cannot emphasize this enough. Whether we like it or not, we are living in an era where people still have their biases because of the way they've been socialized, and you will try to drive the change, but you can't change everyone. So a lot depends on you as the young person, as the woman trying to climb up the ladder, to make sure you work hard. Don't bury your head down though, my dear lady. And the difference is that somebody has to know you work hard. And a lot of women are working hard. They are sitting in the meetings, taking all the minutes. Don't be the one taking the minutes. Be the one doing the PowerPoint presentation. Be the one in front, you know. This is like organizational politics. Be the one at the table where people will see you and know that you know your stuff and you work hard. Otherwise, you always be asking, why are these guys being promoted? Why is this person being? Because although you work hard, nobody knows. Your sponsor is not around the table. Nobody tells your story for you when the decisions are being made. So make sure somebody knows that you work hard, but work hard. Yeah.
Make sure somebody knows you are working hard and work hard. I think these are two things we cannot depart from. There are people who would want people to feel that they're working hard, but wouldn't want to work hard. Yes. So Auntie Patricia says, work hard and let people know you're working hard. Yes. That is not called bragging, right?
No, it's not being loud as well. It's just being at the right place. So when it's time, like I said, when it's time to do the presentation of the work, the project where you guys have put together, even if it's 2 people speaking, be one of them. If it's 3, chip in. But don't be at the back and hope that by the time those 2 people are done, people will remember that you were part of it because your name was on the slide. It doesn't work.
That is true. That is true. Let's move on to the next thing. Still staying on your career. Do you remember your first day at Vodafone?
I remember so well, January 4th, 2011. So I reported on a Monday and it was an open office. I went to see the CEO, and he gave me the rundown of his expectations. And then I went to meet in fact, people were coming in to sneak look at me, sneak peek at me, because I was there to take the job of an expert. And we're like, woof, this girl from Tico is coming and the expert is leaving and they brought somebody from outside. So everybody wanted to see this girl who was coming in. So I know people were peeping and looking at me and everything, but yeah.
So what position did you occupy on the first day?
CTO. So the person was there and I was there to do the transition for 3 months and also to travel around about 6 countries to understand how Vodafone does it. The difference between the 2 companies at the time I joined was that one was a pure mobile company, looking at pure consumer business, and the other one was a very strong mobile and fixed and also very big in enterprise supporting companies. And they were also very global, very international, and they had ways of working. So I had to go through that transition for about 3 months to really understand the business and take over. I did that for about 3 years.
So along the line, you were judged the best telco CEO. That was somewhere around last year. What did this mean to you? And what efforts went into getting this feat in your career?
I was surprised. It was very humbling for me as well. I think they recognized the work that we had done in STEM over the short period that I was there. And I really give, and also the changes that had begun to happen in the company. And I really give credit to the organization and the people who worked hard. I was just 7 months in the role, but a lot had happened within the very short period, especially to make impact on the lives of the young ones. And we were recognized for that. So it was very humbling. Yeah.
I'd like to say congrats again. I think it's been over a year, but the feeling is still fresh. Congrats. It's a good thing.
Thank you. And it was 100% public voting. So that was also.
Yeah. So the people love you.
Thank you.
It's been a critical period for businesses and customers. With the COVID-19 pandemic, I'm sure the situation is not different in the telco industry and especially Vodafone. What, has been the challenges for you as a company during this period, and what system and processes have you put in place to manage the new normal? Emphasis on the new normal.
Long question. Okay, so
let's break it down.
Yeah, even before the lockdown was announced, we made the decision to start working from home. This is something we had been testing over a period, but we thought it would be like flood or something that would get it out of the building. But to get everybody to be at home, we had like 90% of the organization from home. Our fixed engineers were not coming to the exchange. They were receiving their jobs on their phones and setting out to customers. Our retail staff, we had to find a way of transporting them to the office because they couldn't use public transport. And we had to quickly set up all our staff and the amazing things, including our call center of almost 300 people to be set up in their homes, and the right setup because they have to work 8 hours sitting down receiving calls. And that was phenomenal. And the energy that the team put in to make that happen, and we've quickly had to find a way of engaging our employees. Every week I speak to them about something like a Facebook live chat. It's called Workplace Live. Every week I engage them. We've had DJs coming to play for our staff online. We had online parties. We've had online cooking sessions. We've had Mother's Day celebrations. So things that we never thought was possible have been enabled by technology because of COVID. And for our customers as well, they were also significantly hit. I mean, students were coming home and they had to continue education. We had to quickly zero rate online e-learning for everyone, and also start driving connectivity to people's homes. I mean, the rush applications we got, everybody wanted fixed broadband at home, and the commitment of the team to make it happen, And then you saw traffic shifting. So people had stopped working at the office and were working from home. And so the sites that you thought would be congested only at night were suddenly congested during the day, right? Yes. And nobody gets ready for such a thing with short notice. All the orders we had placed for equipment, China was closed, nothing was coming to the country, manufacturing has stopped. I mean, it was a real crisis and a test of our leadership, but I believe we came through very strongly. We also saw the need, I've talked about the employees and our customers, but we saw the need to also support government within the period. And so we've done a lot of donation to the society. We've done a lot of giving them SIM cards that people can use to do the contact tracing. We've used a lot of our communication that would have normally used for commercials. We've given it away for SMSs to be sent to customers. Sure, customers receive SMSs 3 times a day, just talking about COVID and educating them. And also, I think what I find valuable is the bit on education. We have a site called Instant Schools, and we've zero rated it for Vodafone customers. If anybody who wants to study within the period can go there and study for free. We've supported the psychiatric center. We've supported with a big health line call center, 50 doctors that we have trained and are paying, and they can support the government hotline. If you have an incident, you don't feel well, you can call 255. So we've put in a lot to support our staff, our customers, and support society and government as well within this period.
Well,
it's been amazing. A real learning for us.
That's amazing. I mean, that's a lot of work in there for the people and, of course, for the employees as well. I mean, I'd like to commend brand Vodafone and, of course, management for such a good work done. I couldn't help but notice that you mentioned bringing in DJs. I mean, entertainment bit in there. That's quite a good thing to do, I should say, because we, Brandwire, also did something called Party Pressure during the lockdown season especially. And so Saturday evenings from 8 p.m. to like 12 midnight, we do live DJ sessions where people can actually tune in on Facebook, Instagram, and the rest. I mean, we kept people entertained. Usually Saturday nights, they're out there partying. And so since there was lockdown in this whole COVID-19 season, we didn't want to keep that away from them. So we brought it closer to them. So I do really understand what it means to bring that in there.
And it's good for mental health, It's good for their mental health. We take it for granted that you've locked people up in the house. They don't have the social environment that they get when they go to work. And they've been in the house for 3 months and more. So you need to be present. You need to provide them that comfort, that support, that leadership. And dealing with people's mental health and doing something different from work is so important.
One thing I've realized, of course, speaking from the things that you said, Vodafone is super interested in health, the health of the people, education, and of course, technology, and then entertainment. How dear are these things to the brand, and what kind of priority do you attend or attach to these things when it comes to Vodafone's day in, day out activities?
I keep saying that you can't be a company that exists for just profits, and Vodafone has been very clear about this. You have to exist beyond profits, and you have to do something for your society. You can't have an environment where you say you are doing business and you don't support the things that are important to the society. Education is fundamental. Health is basic, and like I said, supporting the music industry is a property that we have decided to get into and put everything behind it, because it's an industry that will thrive in Ghana and has been left. So for us, doing good for society by supporting education and health, and also supporting one industry, which is the music industry, has been something we've held dear, and we're committed to doing it. Very committed to doing it.
That's a great thing to do, honestly. I mean, working with Vodafone, the brand Vodafone is something everyone would dream of, because apart from, serving yourself, reaching your career dreams, you're also involved in a lot of things. I mean, you mentioned entertainment and music. Vodafone has been a part of Ghana's Music Awards since time immemorial, and you guys have done so much for our industry. Congratulations and a good feed on that. Let's move on to something else. Of course, that still has to do with our development. I mean, Vodafone is collaborating with the Ghana Statistical Service and Flowminder Foundation in the use of innovative data science to support government fights against COVID-19. How impactful has this been since it was launched or enrolled?
So sometime last year, I had the opportunity to be part of the 74th UN General Assembly. And this is one thing that was launched, the Data for Good projects by the UN. And this is to use data, anonymized data, which doesn't tell anything about the individual, but you can put data together and you can use it to understand population movement. So say there's an earthquake and people run from one place to the other and they are aggregated somewhere. You can be able to use data to tell how many people are left there just by the mobile signals, the calls, the cry for help that is coming out from that hole, And so using big data to formulate policy was something that we started even before COVID. We didn't even know this was coming. We worked with Flowminder. They brought the software. We worked with Ghana Statistical Service. And when this happened, together with Ghana Health Service, we were able to tell pre-lockdown and post-lockdown, the movement. You can't tell the individual because you're not looking at whose phone number it is. You're only telling the movement of traffic. And you can use it to do population planning. You can use it to plan transportation, so many things. So data has been valuable, and we're very happy to have been able to support government and the Ministry of Health to do this.
Great. Thank you so much for that. You've been CEO for a year. Which month are we celebrating the 1 year anniversary?
Should have been, it was April. We had a quiet in my hall celebration, because we couldn't come out.
It was solemn. Solemn with no
I
display.
know, right? Yes, but thankful. It's been a packed 1 year. I can't believe it, there was so much that we wanted to do, so much we wanted to change. And apart from the usual, which is part of my job, getting the network expanded, getting social good done. I think what touches my heart most is how we've been able to work with the people to believe in our strategy. If you fundamentally don't get a solid foundation with the people who are going to deliver on the changes you want in the organization, you're going nowhere. And so for me, it's been phenomenal. It's the people who came up with how they wanted Vodafone to change, and they presented it to the ExCo, which is very unsettling, and we signed it off and said, we will do it. And so there's belief. And I'm very happy with the level of engagement that I have in my company today. I call that probably the biggest achievement. Network and everything is my job. It's my job.
Which of these activities would you describe as the biggest achievement? And the next question is, what has been the Obonai effect at Vodafone since you became CEO?
I've told you I'm a very humble person. So the biggest effects for me has been the bit on social good, making impact on society. We have partnered with quite a number of institutions, let's say KNUST, and today about 700 girls go on campus to understand STEM and start building a journey of understanding science. I was in Upper East last year, and we signed off quite a number of women, touching close to 10,000 households, equipping them with financial skills so that they can be independent. And we work to UNDP to do that. We're working a lot with our mobile money agents. to get them health insurance, which is something they're not going to pay for, life insurance they're not going to pay for. Our call center Healthline 255, which we activated during the COVID period. For me, things that make impact, things that touch society, I find them really big and really, really useful, more than, and that's what I can do with my role. I can make impact, you know.
That's
like
true.
I said, I have to take care of my customers. It's my job. I have to expand the network, everything. But after all that, if all I get is profit, then I don't think I've done a good job. If it makes an impact on the society, then I'm happy. And that's why I'm so happy with what we've done with our social contracts.
Honestly, you've done a lot. You've done a lot beyond being just a CEO. Social-wise, you've really impacted a lot with your position. And once again, I'd like to commend you on that. You mentioned that you've empowered more than 700 young girls in STEM education so far. I mean, what's the key motivation behind this initiative and you know, the impact of it? You touched on it a little bit, but I mean, let's know what is being done specifically in the various societies, I mean, communities with regards to that.
Okay, so you realize the way the world is shifting, the world is going very digital. The discussions on artificial intelligence, the discussions on augmented reality, all the things that are going to drive the change of digital are going to be fueled by scientists, are going to be fueled by people who understand math and science. If you're looking for future jobs, employment, they will be in these areas. There's always statistic that says that we'll have less people doing these jobs than we need. So there's a desire to have people to get in there. Women in Ghana are 50% of our population. So if we don't take care, we'll have only 50%, which is the male, participating in the opportunity to change Ghana. And that is why, for me, it's not about leaving the boys, it's about adding on with the rest of the population. And that's why we went to KNUST in partnership with the Vice Chancellor's Office and the College of Engineering, said every year, we will pay for you to accommodate these girls, give them real life experience on science and math. And it's been phenomenal. Before free SHS as well, we were actually paying scholarship for girls. Every year, about 100 of them, working with British Council, just to give them opportunity to go to school and pursue careers in science. After school, I mean, we've gotten even third-year university students. We are paying their school fees for those who are needy and brilliant to come into Vodafone after final year, come into Vodafone and get real-life experience and work in science and math, come and look at the women in engineering, see real-life examples of your future, you know, and stay and be part of the transformation that is happening. Women are making decisions in their homes, shaping direction for their children. And why are they not part of the technology that they use, you know? Why are they not part of the formation of the technology? So I'm really obsessed about this, that we have very competent, young, brilliant young girls in this country. What they need is role modeling and opportunity to get into science and math. And I will continue to push this with my team.
Wow. That's impactful. It's very amazing and thoughtful. Let me find out from you, what has been the main challenge in getting these young girls to develop interest in maths and science? I mean, before you tap into their interest and help develop them, what are the main challenges you face?
They'll be thankful that they've gotten the opportunity. Visit in Accra and it looks clean. When you step out of Accra, you find a lot of young girls who are thankful that they're even in school. And when they start, they're very brilliant. What happens? You find probably 70% of them capable of doing science. By the time they get to JHS, they've been told their reality that they will get nowhere. And only 30% of them finally end up at the university willing to pursue science. And when I went to campus to speak to young ladies in KNUST, and I was amazed post the session, the number of girls who came to me for one-on-ones, and they said, I don't even know what I'm doing after I leave tech. I'm going to get a degree in engineering, and they need role modeling. They need opportunities created for them, which is what we are doing. But a lot of companies need to do more to open up a world that says, there's opportunity if you do science, opportunity to do maths, to be creative and to problem solve. And we need that platform to be able to grow STEM. Like I said, your job is guaranteed if you get into math and science. It's the future, you know.
Great. Now, we might want to, let's just check this out. some of the listeners have sent their questions in. I was going to hold on to later, but I think a lot of them are quite persistent. So let's just, get into it. First question I have in here is coming in from Mike Coranting. It says, Rev, please ask Auntie Patricia. Please, she's not going to say either number 22 or Madam
22, Pat. 22, it's 22.
So please ask Pat what the future of data science is in the telco industry.
It's everything. A friend wrote to me from the US and said, Auntie, I have been given a course in data science that I don't know. And I said, grab it. Don't let me even start envying you now. Grab it. Everybody's looking for a data scientist to analyze the data. There's so much data that's being collected today, but you need to derive sense out of it. And data scientists are going to make a difference in the technologies that are going to come, the solutions that are going to be poured out. And it's the place to be. They are hot cakes. We can't even find them to recruit them. And they cost so much. So go for it. Go for it.
Okay. So this next one in from Salasi Doku inside East Legon says, Rev, Vodafone privacy breach issue has been in the news. We would like to know from you as CEO what went into the decision that Vodafone Ghana took.
Thank you. So Vodafone didn't take any decision to breach anybody's privacy, and we have not breached anybody's privacy. We are a very responsible organization, and we will not do that. We are a very law-abiding organization, and we respect the laws of our country. So in March 2020, I think the EI was passed by the president, and it was done under the emergency of COVID when we had the pandemic. And so all telcos submitted the call data records as required by law. Then a citizen went to court. He filed an application at the High Court to put an injunction on it. The whole time when people were discussing this in the media, we had not been served. I can't do a media war. When we were served, once we received the injunction application, we wrote to the authorities and we stopped sending the data. So we have not breached anybody's privacy. This news about people are reading your text messages, your WhatsApp is gone to garbage. It's a lie. Please, nobody is listening to your calls. We have not breached anybody's privacy. The issue is in court. I think we should respect the wisdom of the court and allow the judgment to come out.
Okay.
But be assured that beyond the laws of Ghana, I work under, we have a lot of countries operating in Europe. I operate under GDPR, although it's not even the law in Ghana. So we have very, very strict rules under privacy, and we will not do anything to affect our customers. My daily job is to make sure I fix any issues I have with my customers. We will not do anything like that. Please ignore.
Help us understand this a little bit further. I mean, are there rules by the states protecting data in Ghana?
Yes, the Data Protection Act is very clear. Okay. And so I'm not sure how they will put an EI that violates the Data Protection Act. That's why I'm saying, let's not even stretch ourselves. Let's do what our day jobs are, which is make my customers happy and fix the network and put in more fiber and fix my network. Let the court do its job and tell us. But I promise you that we will not do anything that will compromise privacy.
All right. Thanks for that. Another question is in here from Abdullah. Abdullah Ramatu, yes, that's her name. Abdullah Ramatu inside Tema. It says, Rev, rape and sexual abuse is an endemic problem in Ghana. For years, the problem has been ignored. What do you think can be done to finally eliminate this canker as a nation?
How can you eliminate when it is somebody's belief that a woman is a toy that is used to reduce stress? The society encourages some form of behavior by our beliefs. And until we are able to swing the minds of people through education, and for women to be able to stand on the end, that is why you see when I talk about empowering women, it goes beyond just putting money in the hand and earning wages. It's about educating the person, putting power in the person's hand. A lot of women have succumbed to rape and all the abuse because they are not economically empowered. If she could stand on her feet, would she go to this boy and ask for money and her body will be demanded in exchange? It's a very sad situation. So it's not just putting up a law and saying, if you rape a lady, she may die even before the guy goes to jail.
That's true.
So it's really fixing the society, empowering the woman, give her the opportunity to stand on her feet, give her the job. When the opportunity comes for her to rise to the top, allow her to do it. Let her go to school. Then she will not be overly dependent on people who take advantage of them.
Great. We're going to move into the final set of questions for us, but I personally want to find out, how many hours in a day do you spend at work as a CEO?
Endless. There's nothing
Endless.
like you've closed, right? So pre-COVID, I'd pretend to close and go home, and then I have my phone, and then the email is on the phone anyway. So when something comes in, then you have to respond to it. You have to be on call. Your network runs 24/7. So, but you have to make time to balance it. I don't want to pretend that I shut off. And I think within COVID, being at home has been worse because you don't see it. You know, you're sitting by the laptop, you can go to the kitchen and come back, and then you're back to the laptop again. So I would be lying if I said I have hours, but I try to balance.
You try to balance.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a little bit of fun in there as well, right? What do you do for fun? You told us what you used to do for fun back
I'm still doing it. Carpets, get a drink, put the movie on with the boys, and that's it. You know, do nothing. It's such a relief. It helps your brain, you know.
What kind of music do you love?
I used to play golf, but because of this, I had to stop and put it on break till the golf parks are open.
I think they do have golf game apps on the phone. You might want to. What kind of music do you listen to?
So gospel. I like songs that inspire. Okay, let's start from there. So I like songs that inspire, songs that don't denigrate women, preferably gospel. But if it has to be secular, then I don't want you to be talking about sex and all those things in it. But just like a nice song, you know. It's just a nice song, good beat. I don't want to pretend I know hip hop, Afro beats, all those. I don't know the difference. If it's nice, I'll dance to it. So if you play me like Kiddy say cheese, like I've listened to the lyrics, I'm like, okay, he doesn't say a lot of bad things. He doesn't say bad things in it. So, but I'll do it in a Hamilton, Joe Metal.
You mentioned Say Cheese by Kiddy. I mean, there are similar songs. There are similar artists. I mean, there are artists in his range you might love. Give me your top 5 Ghanaian songs. I mean, let's do circle. I'm not doing artists. Let's do.
This is going to be horrible. So it's not about the artist. It's about the quality of his song, right? It's about what the person sings, and I love. So, for example, I'm going to be short on this one. Let me not do it. It's okay.
Please, let's do it. Let's do
the song is nice, we will dance to it. So put one up and let's do it.
But you mentioned Say Cheese.
Because it doesn't.
Who else? Let me do something with you. So I'm going to mention the artist. If you remember any song of theirs that you love, you mention.
Or the rhythm, because I'm not able to. Things Fall Apart.
Exactly. You see, we're good with this. So Things Fall Apart by Kofi Kenata. Okay, who else? FER.
FER with Sarkodie. Sarah.
You see, you're good with. Let's do the fourth one. Who? Let me do Sarkodie again.
Sarkodie, I love all his rap. Like the guy has rhythm, he has his creative. I just can't keep up with the rap. I don't know any of the words, but like he's always on point. So
we'll pick one for you.
I can't go wrong for him. Yeah.
Okay. Stone Boy.
Higher. Go higher. What's the name?
Go higher.
Go higher. Yeah, I like Stone Boys. Go higher.
Shatta Wale.
Shatta. Bring me a song.
Melissa.
Let's stay with. Okay, yeah, Melissa is nice.
Melissa's nice. All right, so we're gonna do those songs for you right after that. Before we wrap up, I want to find out from you. I mean, what management lessons have been the hardest to learn to you personally?
Understanding people. The network will be fine. You put in more equipment, you increase capacity, it's fine. Working with people, you need to always be, I said your intuition, you must have a very deep listening ear and speak less. try and be, because you're a leader, you need to be ahead of the thinking of your people and be there to meet the need before they bring it. How you will train, how you will grow people. You will be shocked. Somebody will just appear before you and said, I am resigning. And you would have missed all the hints the person dropped because you didn't study the psychology of the people you work with. For me, I think it's a leadership lesson that any leader who wants to really lead and manage people will have to understand, you know. They make a whole lot of difference. If you're able to carry people along, you will not work twice as hard. You will get the results. And that's why I told you in my first year, getting the buying of the organization was probably my biggest obsession.
Yeah. That's a good point. Understanding people,
yeah.
being a listener. What other leadership skills do you think make someone a good manager in your field?
You must know your stuff because technology is changing so quickly. So you must try and be abreast with the times. You can't be offering old solutions to new problems. Customer needs are changing. You'll be there and your business will be substituted and you wouldn't even know that people are no longer using the cameras to take pictures. They're using phones and life has moved on and everybody is on the app and you are making phone calls, you know. So you need to really keep up with the technology API in the telco industry. It changes so fast. Customers need changes so fast.
Hello?
I'm here.
Oh, you can, great. Now, let me find out from you, okay? Just how important is it for young people, especially women, to develop a sense of self-worth and self-esteem when starting up their careers?
It is everything. If you don't believe in yourself, even when the job is given to you, you will say, I can't do it. And again, it comes because of the way we have been, like I said, socialized. People have been raised to think that they are not capable. Women have been raised to think they're economic burden. So young women need to say to themselves, I spoke to a group of very young kids and I said, tell yourself you are beautiful. And they were laughing. I said, repeat it. And it's because you believe you need affirmation. You need people to tell you are good before you realize you are good, but you're actually good. So women need to be encouraged. Unfortunately, the society is raising kids who don't believe in themselves. Especially, I'm talking about kids outside Accra. So we must reinforce the capabilities that they have. We must reinforce that there's no problem with you just because you're a woman. That's how God created you, but it comes with a lot of strength. You are unique. And that's why driving diversity in organizations is important because a woman brings a lot of uniqueness to the table. And if women are told, consistently told, and they see role models as well, they will begin to think that the opportunity is out there and the problem is not them. The problem is not them, it's the society. So you are aware of the biases and you move on. Move on. Nothing is not going to change today.
Did you have role models yourself growing up? Do you have anybody you look up to?
Not women. Unfortunately, most of them were men in the career field. And I just loved the way they work. And I followed it strictly. I didn't see any reason why I couldn't do what they were doing. Unfortunately, I didn't have women. It was when I had started work that I used to look at the late Eva Loco from a distance, like, wow, you know, a satellite engineer, oh my God, you know, that kind of thing. But there were very few. And I just hope that during our time, we are no longer the exception. I don't look like a star. Like there are many Patricias. There should be many Patricias around. Yeah.
Great. Religion or spirituality? Which comes first for you?
Spirituality. Religion is everywhere.
I love that. I mean, what roles have both played in your success story? Spirituality first.
I'll stick to spirituality. I don't believe that we exist out of nothing. I believe there's a God who created us, takes care of us, and orchestrates our ways if we allow him to manage our will. And so I place my trust in God and believe that he carries me through my challenges. So I'm a very deeply spiritual person.
Someone just sent this question and I was trying to ignore, but I can't. So Alex at La Paz says, Madam, would you consider becoming Ghana's first female president in the future?
Alex, vote for me. Yeah.
I mean, would you consider a ministerial position if it comes up?
Why not? It's a task, it's a role, it's service. Why not?
Wow.
It's service, right? Yeah.
How soon should we expect?
I'm not the campaign person. I'm not the type who will start on any political platform. I don't have the.
We'll do the campaign for you. Don't worry. We just need you to let us know if you will do it, and then we'll
If
do the
it's
campaign team for you.
if it's service to my country, I will never turn it down.
Wow. By the way, we are
But
on
the timing
Twitter's
has to
trend
be
list.
right. The timing has to be right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I mean, for now, you're a bit busy with being a CEO of Vodafone, but in the near future, if you have a little bit of time off your shoulder, you consider, right?
And I have to serve, by all means. I will serve.
Service is a key word. I love that.
Yes.
By the way, we're number 2. We were number 1. We've gone to number 3. We're back to number 2 now on Twitter's trend list. I mean, people are enjoying the conversation, all the information that you've shared with us, the story, every little bit of it. Trust me, has been inspiring.
Thank you.
We'd like to say thank you so much for spending time with us on the show. Thank you to you, Madam Patricia Obonai, to Vodafone for giving us this opportunity. And yesterday we saw the tweets, by the way. We love it. We love the fact that
Thank you. I'll tweet again after this.
Sure. So what are your final words? Anything else you'd like to add to the piece for the youth or the people locked in right now?
Oh, well, I think the period in which we are presents its own opportunity. It's a brilliant time to make use of the valuable time that is left on your hands, you know, and it will be unfortunate. And I speak to the youth first before I speak about the country, but I think for the youth, it will be unfortunate that post-COVID, you came out the same. You know, you didn't use the time to acquire a new skill, you didn't learn a new language, you didn't become more digital. I think it will be unfortunate. So find something, and schools are going to vacate soon. So please find something online and use your time. I'm doing the same. I'm running a few courses just for my growth, you know, even at this age. And then for the country, I think it's also going to be a good learning for us to accelerate digital transformation. Let's not just talk about it again. If you come, people are now working from home, and the future of work is going to be at home. You know, so connectivity at home is going to be important. Employers should start looking at how they measure their staff, not from sitting in the office, but sitting at home and still delivering for them like we're doing today. There's so much, I think we need another hour to talk about the opportunity that COVID has presented. So there's a lot that we should do, and I just wish you all, the youth of Ghana, the best. We're here to support you. Please reach out anytime. My Twitter handles are open. You can just sign in and let's have a chat. Happy to support.
I have one request, by the way.
Tell me.
Patricias is on Saturdays, and we are having fun with the youth.
Okay.
I want to pitch it to Vodafone. I would love to have Vodafone on board, so we party together Saturday nights.
I'm broke.
We'll take the conversation off air. But thank you so much.
Let's talk. You're welcome.
It's been an awesome one. Have a wonderful afternoon.
My pleasure.
We're going to play your songs right after this, so you might want to stay tuned to enjoy your mixes. When you hear, you can call your friends and tell them you curated the list. All right?
I don't call my pastor though. Thank you.
He doesn't have to know.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Reverend.
Welcome.
This is YFM.